What is going on, guys? My name is Atlantis, and welcome back to Ice and Fire's the Bestiary. Now, get out of my face. For today's episode, we're going to be focusing on the Hippogryph. Now, if you're new to the series, what this is it's just a tutorial series based on this book in the Ice and Fire mod. Now, this book is called the Bestiary, and it tells you everything that you need to know about the mod, at least to get started. However, we're going to go into more detail about every single thing in this book, in the series, and now, for today, we're going to be doing Hippogryphs. Now, there's a tab in here on Hippogryphs, I'm pretty sure. There's only one, I do believe. Yeah, there's only one. There's not a separate one for their eggs. Now, you can pause this and read it if you want. I'm just going to tell you everything that this is going to tell you. So, yeah, there's not much in there. I'm going to tell you everything and more. So, let's get going, shall we? Right, so the first things you should know about the Hippogryphs is they come in 7 different colors. Those colors being white, black, brown, grey, chestnut, cream, and dark brown. And you can see the various different colors over here. This is a white one, and it's a baby, and I'll explain how to get those very soon. This one is black. This one is the brown one. This is the grey one. This is, I believe, chestnut? Chestnut or cream? This is chestnut, right? Yeah, this is the chestnut. I always get those mixed up. This one is the cream one, and this is the dark brown. And they're all based off different kinds of, like, in real life birds. This one's based off bald eagle, and then you can go through, you see basically just different things that they're all based off. I forget what they're all based off of. But this one I know for sure is bald eagle. It's easy to tell. Now, when it comes to the different variants, they're all found in different biomes. Now, one thing that is consistent, they're always found in hill biomes. However, for example, this one is found in the taiga hills and in similar biomes. And what that means is, if you have a mod that adds a biome that's similar to the taiga hills, then you're gonna find them there as well. So, it'll be found there. This one is found in the savanna plateaus, so just the big tall boys out in the middle of the almost desert. These are found in birch forest hills, these are found in the dark oak forests, these are found in mountains and just, so basically extreme hills. These ones are found in the desert hills, and these ones are found in the snowy mountains and other biomes that are very similar to them. And now, these are what their eggs look like. This is what you'll get if you breed them. Bird, please. Thank you. These are what you'll get if you breed them, and I'll show you how to breed them in just a moment. And these are some rather notable items when it comes to hippogriffs. Now, this is the dragonbone flute, which I've explained in previous episodes, but basically what this does is, if your hippogriff is flying, so like, say it's like these ones and it's standing, and then it flies off. Squeak face! Right, and as for notable blocks, or I guess items when it comes to hippogriffs, just what's on the wall behind me, and then we'll get to these in a moment, but this is the dragonbone flute bird! Bird! Right, so as I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by my parakeet, this is the dragonbone flute. Now, what this does is, say if your hippogriff is standing like this, which I would not recommend unless it's in a cage, and then it starts to fly away. If you right-click with this, volume turned down, of course, it will make that noise, and then it'll call the hippogriff back down to the ground so you can grab it. It won't make it sit, but it will be on the ground so you can get it before it flies off again. Now, if it flies off again, just do this again and it'll work, it'll bring it back down. And it should only work, I think, within like 4 chunks of the hippogriff. So if it's any further away, I'm pretty sure it won't work, but if you can see it, it should be able to work from what I know. And I think you can even edit that in the config. So, moving right along, the way you get these things to sit is with a simple stick. Now, on the wiki, it says you can use the dragon command staff, which I don't believe a word of, because, look, this don't work. The dragon command staff does not work for the hippogriff, so you have to use a stick. But if you shift right-click, it'll set their home position to wherever they're sitting. If you just normally right-click, it'll make them to where they're wandering, to where they're standing up. I would not recommend this if they're out in the open. And if you right-click again, it'll sit down and it'll stay put right where it is. Now, you can use a lead, but they'll still try and fly, so if you're not annoyed by that, go right ahead. I'm annoyed by it, so I'm not going to do that. Now, how to breed them. This is a rabbit stew. The recipe is fairly simple. It's a vanilla recipe. You should be able to figure it out. What you do is they breed just like any other vanilla mob, and essentially you just right-click on one of them, and then you right-click on the other one, and they both have to be tamed, and then they will make an egg. Now, the kind of egg you get depends on what kind of hippogriffs you have. In this case, we got a white egg. Now, I tested the breeding a little bit, and I kept getting the same color egg every single time, so I'm not sure how it decides what color egg you're gonna get if you have 2 different colors, but just experiment with it until you get the color you want. I'm sure it'll make one of each at some point. I haven't got it to that point, but I'm sure it will. So, in order to hatch a egg, just right-click with it, That's all you do. It'll hatch it and it'll go away from your inventory, but it'll hatch it. Now, word of warning about this little hippogriff, he's not tamed, so you're gonna have to actually tame them, and I'll get on to do that in a moment. But once they hatch, you have to tame them. And they take, I think, like a day to grow up. Like a day in Minecraft to grow up. I have seen them grow up, but I never actually counted it, but from what I know, it takes like a day for them to grow up. So, there's that. Now, as for how to tame them, we'll get on to why this is here in a moment, because it's an interesting little feature. How to tame them, you need a rabbit's feet. So, you shouldn't need more than 10 to tame one hippogriff. Like, it should take about 1 to 5, but you should not need more than 10. I just like to have plenty in case, just in case. So, say you found this hippogriff, he's on the ground. Now, when it comes to taming these things, it can be rather annoying because they do tend to fly. However, if they're on the ground, it's easier for you, but normally when you find them in the wild, they'll be flying around, and what you have to do is just follow them around until they land, and eventually they will land, so you can get close enough to throw the rabbit feet at them, and then you just, once they've landed, you just throw the feet at them. Now in this case, it literally only took 1, so this guy is our friend now, and he's tamed, and when they're tamed, they'll sit down like this, and then you can shift right-click to access their inventory, and you can put a saddle, a chest, and armor on them. And speaking of armor, over here is the various different types of hippogriff armor. The saddle and the chest, self-explanatory. I just showed you how to use those. They have an inventory, so they're essentially, if a donkey, a horse, and a bird in Minecraft had a kid, and this is what it is. They'll have an inventory once they have the chest, and it even shows up on them, so that's excellent. Now, as for the armor, 3 different kinds: iron, gold, and diamond, and in order to make that, you need the regular horse armor of whatever kind you want, and 2 feathers, and this is the recipe, and then you'll get the respective hippogriff armor from whatever kind of horse armor you use. Oh look, he grew up, yay! So yeah, it does take like a day. Yeah, I just hatched this one before I started recording. Now, this feather is literally only here because it's one of the things they drop. They drop leather and they drop feathers, so there you go. And now, on to the glistering melon. Now this is the interesting one. This is the one that I find quite amusing, to be honest. So, if you right-click on the hippogriff with a glistering melon, it turns into a dodo! Now, from what I know, there's no way to reverse this. So, if you have a hippogriff you really like the color of, don't do it. Don't right-click with this. Use it on one you don't like. But then, the best part is, they can still fly. And they look so derpy. But anyway, speaking of flying, in order to fly, you just right-click on it when it has a saddle. You'll be on the hippogriff then. And then, in order to fly, you just press space, I believe? Space is to go up. Yeah, space makes you go up, and then you just use the normal controls to control the direction it's going in. To go down, you press X, and to dismount, you press Shift. Now, one other notable thing you should know about these hippogriffins is that if you, say you have an animal you want to kill, if you press G, it will perform attack, be on the ground, and attack. G, wait. It would help if I press the right button. If you press G, it'll attack the animal you're looking at. So there's a little notable thing about that. Another thing is, I do believe if they're standing, this wasn't always the case. Yeah, it does. Well, those ones are definitely doing it. What's wrong with you? Friggin' dodo. If they will attack an animal if you punch it. You can see these ones are doing it. This one won't for some reason. Do the thing! Fine, don't do the thing. Stubborn horse bird. Sit back down, jeez. But yes, they will attack most of the time animals that you're after. I actually tamed those 2 in the background over there. Yeah, those 2 over there. I do believe it's the brown one. I don't know which ones I tamed, but all I know is they seem angry at something. Get down. Down. See there, that's how the dragon flute works. Anyway, I think that's about it that I have to say on these ones. Yeah. Like, they'll attack a mob if you punch it. That's all I know. But yeah, there's not much else to show you when it comes to these things. Now I could go and show you how to actually tame them in the actual world that's not flat, but it's so easy. And these are probably going to be one of the first mobs you're going to want to tame when you get the mod, because they're just so easy to tame. They don't do a lot of damage when they attack, and when they only attack usually if they're hungry, but there's no way to tell, so you just hope you get lucky. They don't do that much damage as well. They do a lot of knockback, but compared to other mobs in the mod, they do not do that much damage. And they're easy to tame, they're good for traveling, you can put armor on them. They're just overall a good starter mount to have when you first get this mod. So anyway, and that is it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed, please leave a like on the video. If you really enjoyed, be sure to subscribe. The channel is growing incredibly fast, and I blame this series, but thank you guys so much. That is incredible. So anyway... Yeah, I have nothing else to say. Just look at this little dodo. He looks so weird. I love him. Anyway, once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye! Forgot to jump, man!